Okay, and we are live. Welcome to episode 14 of the Qué Pasó podcast. I'm Ernest,
I'm Eduardo.
I'm Simandias. How are you today?
and I'm pretty good. And you, Eduardo?
Perfectly fine, thank you.
It has been actually very windy here. So windy that a tree has been ripped out of broken in half, and has been ended up on somebody's lawn. It's quite fun.
Free firewood.
No, the government doesn't like you making firewood anymore. They don't make any money on. They don't make any money anymore on it, so they pretty much don't want you to do that.
Damn.
Yeah, we're pretty strict here now.
Mhm.
But today is not about my incredibly messed up government. It's about another rather messed up government, the American one.
Mm-hmm.
It is
The midterms.
Yes, fun times. This is.
Holy shit!
Winter is coming.
And I have some ice cream. Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
Did they actually? I wonder if they actually sell. Did they actually sell Ben and Jerry's in Chile?
Yes,
I think
but
you can
that
find
flavor
it
hasn't
everywhere.
arrived.
They don't sell it here. I've been trying, but I would buy the Resist ice cream just to see how awful it tastes.
Tastes like poverty.
Because what was supposed to say?
Tastes like white guilt.
It can resist. I don't know what the hell that is.
It sounds like
Image.
why don't they should have one for Vikings that'll be like pagan resist.
Yeah.
Every bite is the
Dude,
bite of Odin.
I'm going to Ben and Jerry's, and the first thing that comes out is a introducing new pick and resist limited batch. And we also see the Women's March harness the power of all women, color of change. Neta gives voice to those who live on the Mexico border.
It's
the art
really,
of pick and resist.
It's actually really cringy, and
Thank you for thinking about us.
Yeah.
He-
You were thinking
well,
about the little guy.
He's actually Ben and Jerry's are thinking about the large moving mass of migrants who are making their way through your fine country, Eduardo. They're
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, because I think this will play is playing a major role in these midterm elections.
It is because
Mhm.
Trump. Oh, I should say the Republicans. This isn't about Trump completely. The Republicans have tightened the race by 7. They're down to 7 points behind the Democrats. But if you guys have heard of something called Project Veritas,
Yeah.
he's very busy.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh my God. They that well. I don't approve much on their tactics because sometimes this can lead to the divulgation of information without context. But in what they say of this guy's Beto O'Rourke campaign, that he is actually gathering support for migrant caravan in Texas. This guy is in for a world of pain.
Sorry.
And I mean Beto. It's really cringy that him, a gringo, calls himself that. Beto.
I know they should be calling him Beta, not Beto.
Bob. No, he's more like a Bob. He looks like a Bob.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't even know his name. All I know is he's like Beto O'Rourke.
I
think his name is Robert.
Robert. Yeah, he's Bob.
Can I ask you, Eduardo, where the migrant caravan is at this very moment?
The migrant caravan, the last update I had is in Juchitán, in the Oaxaca state. Fun fact about Juchitán. In that place, Porfirio Díaz's brother was killed. Well, tortured and then killed. It's he was a really
helicopters.
He was a governor of Oaxaca, Felix Diaz, but he was in extreme wing of the Liberal Party. Like he was really anti-clerical. And when these people in the south of Oaxaca, in Juchitán, and other counties around it, rise in pricing against the government. Well, this guy went took his troops, and among other things, well, he he made a slaughter there, and also entered the church in his horse, tied the statue they had there of Saint Vincent to his horse, and drag the saint around the town. So when Porfirio Diaz wanted to take the presidency from Benito Juarez, and Felix, well, in support of his brother, raised the troops of Oaxaca in favor of his brother, he decided to run to the coast and then to the United States. The problem is he had to pass through Juchitan. And the people in Juchitan called him, and they made him, what he did to their beloved saint. So,
Okay, so
never met
pretty much this.
Oaxaca is
south of Mexico.
It's a complicated place.
I have heard things about Oaxaca. By the way, the funny thing is that Beto O'Rourke defeated an actual Latino for the nomination for the Congress, or the House. It was he beat Sylvester Reyes, so a Latino and Vietnam veteran got beat by Roberto Francisco O'Rourke. Well, Robert Francis O'Rourke. I shouldn't even give him any legitimacy.
Born in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, he literally looks like the most white privileged man I have ever seen in my life. Like,
wait
with like a really shitty.
I mean, if you didn't tell me he was born in El Paso, I would just say, well, this guy looks like another white boy to me.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so white.
Yeah,
like
he's too white, but
he's got like an.
I think he's like
tan.
white. Yeah, he's white. Like Elizabeth Warren is white.
Yeah, he wanted to debate Ted Cruz in Spanish. Give me a fucking break.
Ted Cruz is. I actually don't know that much with Ted Cruz. Does he speak Spanish completely?
I guess he. I
mean, he is Cuban. I don't know if Cubans speak Spanish.
Yeah, they do. But well, the interesting thing about Ted Cruz, and this surfaced the other day, and people on the Democratic side were really angry, was that in the New York Times published a report about something he did when he was in the city council of El Paso. He basically wanted to gentrify and make a big redevelopment in downtown El Paso. But many people will lose their homes if that came to be. It never happened.
Wow.
But people in El Paso, in mostly Mexican American areas in El Paso, hate him. They don't like him because, interesting fact, one of the developers of that project.
We have a migrant caravan coming, and that this will be a present issue, at least on the border states. Actually, the fact that they're having how many migrants are there? Like,
at
the moment,
like 5,000 or 6,000.
Yeah, in total, I think they're in the 5,000, 6,000 region.
I mean, like we have that amount of people going to the border, and shit.
Guys, I just realized something. You know what Beto O'Rourke's son's name is?
What?
Ulysses.
What?
Ulysses.
Ulysses O'Rourke.
Ulysses S. Grant.
I don't know why. He's trying to pose himself. Well, I guess he's in Texas, so he has to pretend to be like a Chicano or Tejano. But if he wants to make that image, he shouldn't marry the whitest woman I've ever seen in my life.
That's another point I want to reach in this thing. One of the developers of this project in El Paso, what is his father-in-law.
Business as usual, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, really, really. It was really fishy, and people in the Democratic side in the United States is really angry because how dare the New York Times report on these weeks just a week before the election.
I was just I was actually just bored and looking at Beto's Facebook page, and
He's too white.
oh, it's so cringy. No, it is. He is really white. He even sounds incredibly white. At least Ted Cruz tries to sound Texan, with that kind of come to Jesus kind of voice. But Beto was like Corpus Christi's Eva Longoria urging everyone to get out and vote, with Zoe Saldana, America Ferreira, and Gina Rodriguez. Of course. Okay. And I'm just like, you cringy bastard.
I mean, if Lama finds cringy people like Alexandro Ocasio-Cortez, I think Beto O'Rourke is in the same league of cringiness.
I'm gonna send you guys the link to Beto's Facebook.
Okay.
It's pretty.
You know, we need a gringo for this, for the midterms.
I know. I have tried. Unfortunately, my gringos are all not in America.
Yeah,
and El Gringo, if you ever get a chance to watch this, I'm talking about you. I love you, but man, come on, this was important. Who needs your fancy education?
Okay.
Well,
but
my experience.
I think we should start with with the like laying some of the facts or how things are looking for this election. What is what is being contested? In this case, all 435 seats of the House of Representatives are in contest. And according to the BBC, Republicans have 140 seats safe. 55 seats they probably win. 45 they that could go either way. In the case of the Democrats, they have 182 seats safe. 10 that they will probably win, and 3 that could go either way. They need a total of 218 seats to control the House. The Senate, they are just there are just contested 35 or the 100 seats that form the Senate. There are more Democrat seats contested this time. Well, I mean in election. I mean, in Republicans of those contested, Republicans have 4 safe. 1 they probably win. Another 4 that could go either way. And Democrats have 14 safe, 6 that they'll probably win, and 6 that could go either way. So I mean, the situation looks better for the Democrats in the House, but in the Senate it looks better for the Republicans.
But now, listen, polling can be wrong. I mean, if we can only look to 2016 for that. I mean, everyone thought Hillary Clinton was going to smash the guts out of Trump, and then
she didn't.
And she didn't. So I mean, I think that we are going to see a surprise. I think Texas is Cruz. I mean, I think at the end he's going to get it.
Yeah.
Michigan is up in the air right now. I think that's another crucial one because I really like to see John James get it. He seems like a good guy, and I'm a sucker for veterans. And this guy was, I believe, a helicopter pilot in Iraq. So he's he's a businessman, like self-made businessman. So I like that. He's kind of a combination of.
And,
yeah,
self-made millionaires.
and of course, we have 36 governors governor seats that will be on election. From those, 9 are Democrats, 1 is independent, and 26 are Republican.
Florida's up in the air right now.
Yeah, Florida's an interesting race.
Florida's always interesting, though. I mean, it's always had some strange things. I mean, you look at, for example, Bush and Gore. That was a big one. I still remember the hanging Chad thing. That went on like all the way back then. That was a huge deal, and it always was. I think is Marco Rubio running for re-election in this one? I think he is.
Oh, let me check.
Yeah, I think he's not, but he hasn't done a lot of waves. But I think the two of the races that are getting really interesting in this for this election are the one in Texas, Beto O'Rourke against Ted Cruz.
Oh shit, Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, and of course the race for governor in Florida between.
Speaking about election, this is just like a short, quick fact. I remember that when I think it was Sargon's video, he was talking about the other possible candidates the Democrats may have for 2020, and among them, not only was this guy Avenatti, the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, it was Al Sharpton. Al fucking Sharpton.
What about the most pleasant of fellows?
Yeah, I would be like, do it.
Pimp.
Yeah, I would be like, do it.
Imagine Al Sharpton running. No,
He's done that before, actually.
I mean, I think he could win certain districts, but I don't see him winning, a governorship or the presidency.
Al Sharpton might get like Harlem, and maybe the Bronx.
Chicago?
That's a bit. Yeah, I'll get Chicago. God no. Well, then again,
Chicago, man.
He's made enough money off Chicago and New York, and everywhere else. But I think there actually was a really racist ad that got put up against Andrew Gillum in Florida, the African American guy running for Congress or running for governor.
Yeah,
and they tried to pin it off as Ron DeSantis' campaign done it up, but it was done by like this weird white supremacist group, and it was the strangest ad I had ever heard. Like, it was so cringy that it wouldn't change anyone's mind. Like, it would probably make them vote for Andrew Gillum just out of spite, because it was just like, well, hello there, I'm Andrew Gillum, and I's be running for governor der. And it was the long story short, there was lots of mentions of chicken and watermelon, and for some reason there was a monkey screeching in the background. It was bad. So I'm just sitting there listening to this racist nonsense. I'm just like, I all of a sudden like Andrew Gillum, just because I want to say, like, frig you to white supremacists. But then it was like paid for by like the National Brotherhood. I was like, yup, Democrats.
I've been looking at some of the at some of the things that that people in Florida says, and apparently, well, Gillum is right now I think he's the mayor of Tallahassee, capital of Florida.
Yes, mayor of Tallahassee.
Yeah, well, apparently, people is not really pleased with his tenure in the mayor's at the mayor's office. Like, and so it has been like there has been like a lot of corruption in that regard.
Well, it's Democrats. They tend to have a history of this. Well, Eva Longoria is getting around. She was with Beto O'Rourke, and then she rallies with Gillum, because, and Rosario. Let me see. It goes a few days ago. Some of the most prominent Latina names on American television gathered in Kissimmee, Florida, to promote Democrat Andrew Gillum's candidacy for governor. Eva Longoria Baston, Zoe Saldana, America Ferreira, Gina Rodriguez,
Zoe Saldana. She's hot.
And Rosario Dawson. Whoever the hell that is.
The one that he's in the Alexander movie.
Oh,
yes. I forgot about her.
Each one was wearing a phenomenally Latina t-shirt. Oh my god, that's cringy as fuck.
Hey, at least it's not as cringy as the Grab Them by the Ballot campaign.
Oh no! Oh yeah, that one's bad. But oh guys, no. Do you know who Frankie Negron is? Or Negron?
Frankie Negron?
Yeah, the salsa singer.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I forgot. You guys are like fake Latinos because you listen to like the rock and the heavy.
Yeah, I found him.
The rock.
De La Terra.
Frankie Negron. I found him. Okay, so what about him?
Yeah, he performed at the event. To make it even more cringy, you had to essentially have, of course, you had to have like somebody come out and like put on this minstrel show of an event. Like it's like we have to show how much we like you Latinos, so we're going to bring the Eva Longorias and the Rosario Dawsons, and there's going to be churros for everybody. I know you Mexicans like churros. Those were Cubans. Same thing.
Eduardo, how you will feel if someone is trying to win your vote with churros?
Well, I take the churros and listen to what they have to say, and then I listen to the other guy and ponder who's best.
Those are free churros.
But yeah.
Well, I actually, they had something like that in Lima. While I was in Lima, they had like the races for the alcaldes, and there was one event for one guy. I think it was in Barranco, and they were giving out churros, and I didn't say anything. They just came up and they gave me the churros, and they're just telling me about how great this candidate is, and they're like, "So, Senor, do we have your vote?" And I'm just like, "Yo soy canadiense. Muchas gracias por los churros." And I just walked away, and all you could hear was "Gringo mierda." But by the way, I want everyone to know I have to do the disclaimer. I'm generally joking when I make anything that slightly sounds offensive. I just don't want to get sued or called a racist, because I'm not. Yeah, we just got to let that disclaimer out there. But
it's just that it made me laugh that I read an article that says that should women go on a sex strike before the midterms? And I was like, so you're assuming that all women are Democrats?
Yeah,
what about the conservative women?
But you got to remember, most of those Democrat women who will go on sex strike have probably been doing that anyway, because they're definitely the most prudish bunch. Yeah. Or they're just going to go to their secondary lover, Guillermo. I always imagine they have some kind of like Latin gardener lover in the background just waiting.
¿Qué pasó, chiquilla?
Or I don't know, like
Ven para acá, chiquitita.
Trayvon, the pool guy. I don't know, or the plumber. I don't know. I just can't imagine to be like some 200-pound plumber named Ted. It's not that guy. It's just like you can have like the handsome pool guy, the salsa instructor, or Ted. There's chicken in this plant. There's chicken in this pipe.
And it's still edible.
Yep. God, that actually reminds me of a. No. There was when I first got my first apartment, the tub was like the drain in my tub was clogged, and I pulled it out, and there was chicken bones and the chicken wings in the tub in the drain. So apparently somebody was, before they moved out, hiding chicken in the tub, which was weird. So that was an interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Hey.
to
Can you topic about the midterms? Yeah. I was into BlizzardCon last few days, and I heard that Blizzard announced their new video game, Diablo, which is basically Diablo Mobile Edition. And many people are not happy about it, and the gaming media and Blizzard are going full EA mode, basically branding everyone who doesn't like this. I think there was a tweet that said that everyone who attacks mobile gaming is an upshot of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What the hell, people?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not into Diablo. The only Blizzard game I played is Overwatch. Well, I still hate the way they manage the game, they handle the game, but the people in general. And there was this guy who said, "Is this an off-season April Fool's joke?" And
I saw the video.
everyone was laughing.
Yeah. And when they asked if they were going if there were plans to make a they take it
PC
to
version.
Then they said no. There was they booed them like really loud.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god! Look, it's very simple. I almost feel like companies, in particular in the gaming industry, pretends that, oh no, gamers are just a toxic bunch. We shouldn't just cater to them. Dude, they're buying your shit. I mean, I'm going to buy the fucking McCree Nerf gun that is going to come out because I love the game. I mean, give me reasons why I should buy your game, and that reason comes why you create a version of your game on a mobile version. I've seen gameplay. It's the same gameplay of any other top RPG game on mobile, full of microtransactions, and everyone is running mad because why? This basically gives an excuse to game developers to be lazy, to don't develop proper games, and just, oh no, just have this. I mean, we will in a way give, I don't know, additional DLC after that. No one wants that. And I will say this, I may get a ton of like because of this, but real gamers don't do mobile games. There's no single gamer I know that plays mobile games and spend money on it. I've heard that most women play mobile games. I have no problem with that. But being a gamer is playing on PC or console, not mobile games.
Yeah, well, nobody really like. I mean, mobile games suck. I've played like Age of Empires on my phone, and it was the worst thing I've ever played. The only good game I ever played mobile was Sid Meier's Pirates. That was actually rather good. Other than that, everything's been junk. The only good game I've actually played lately is Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's been amazing. So shout out to Rockstar. You might have major employees work like illegal amounts of overtime, but you have produced one hell of a game, my friends.
Yes.
Although you shouldn't focus so much on certain parts of the horse. Please don't do that next time. It's really, really uncomfortable.
Why?
Because everyone I know is laughing about that, and that's all they're watching now.
Horse balls.
I didn't want to say
There
it.
was a
We're
guy
going to get demonetized.
teaching horseball anime.
We're going to get demonetized, gentlemen. Thank you, Ozzy,
Yeah.
getting us demonetized. So
Don't
we don't
worry.
get all that valuable YouTube money, all 15 cents of it. That could have bought like an arepa in northern Colombia. Okay, so thanks.
I know. I'm a bad man.
I could say Venezuela, but I have too many good Venezuelan friends. I don't want to offend.
But so Eduardo, what is your take on all of this?
Well, I consider myself a gamer. I like video games. I play.
Gamers rise up.
Yeah, and I play. But making a game, which from a saga that it will be that the saga, the next installment of a saga that will be welcome on PC, Xbox, PlayStation with a big reception, and then drift to a mobile platform. I think it's not just a bad idea. It's insulting to their market base. I know, with the auction house that Diablo 3 included, uh, it was it was shut down real a few times after it got launched, but now they are going to just a microtransactions nightmare to milk the whatever money they can, because that they are not gonna that mobile games come and go, that they no, what's the lifespan of a mobile game being relevant in this time, and that you have to compete with a lot of other games that are really in mobile, that are like the top dogs in that platform, like Clash Royale, or how the on and now the introduction of Fortnite and PUBG. It's over. Uh, they I don't think it's gonna be that good for them.
No, it's not, because we're living in times in which I think in general people make more want to make more informed purchases. So people are going to just be outside of this kind of thing. We saw what happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2, with the outrageous loot box system that was. It wasn't just that it was there; it was that you couldn't progress in the game if you didn't bought loot boxes. So, and what happened later? The game bombed because of it. I actually intended to buy a Star Wars Battlefront 2. I played the demo,
horrible.
the beta. Sorry, yeah, played the beta, and it was weird because I loved it. I like to play as a stormtrooper and mowing down rebel scum, but then I start realize, wait, all the time I'll be doing this, there will be a guy who will have a card, and that card will make him almost impervious to any kind of damage I made. And for me to obtain that card, I have to buy tens of thousands of loot boxes just to get that single card. Because there are people around who just simply have money and they will buy all the loot boxes until they get the best things. And those are the guys who will have a better time playing, not me. So I didn't bought Destiny. Sorry, Destiny, Star Wars Battlefront 2 because of it. And I have no interest. Well, I'm not a Diablo fan, but I still understand that no one wants to play a game that's going to charge you more money for things I already paid. It's like, for example, you remember Destiny?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I bought that game day one. And that was the last time I would buy a game in day one. Because at first I was like, okay. But I stuck with it for I think 2 years, 3 that lasted the game. And the reason why I stuck with it because I wanted to play something that wasn't Call of Duty, and I poured in, I think, let's say a large amount of money to get the DLC, to keep progressing and stuff. And now looking back and say, I don't want to do that again. I'm tired of spending money for things I already own. Is I hate that. I hate to think in that way because why? I mean, I already spent, let's use American dollars. I already spent $60 on a video game, and now they're asking me more money to have the experience complete. Why? And people defend this.
Yeah, it's like these well, these other people, well, EA with the Command and Conquer game that was
Oh,
launched, the
Oh,
last installment of the saga was launched, is bound to be launched in mobile on a mobile platform. I mean, it's almost insulting that they consider people who play Candy Crush to be the same as people who play, I don't know, Skyrim or something like that.
awesome, mother.
you know, I remember that this guy, Jim Sterling. Well, I don't actually like the guy, but one of the few quotes I like from him is that Skyrim is the cockroach of video gaming. It's a game that refuses to die. Bethesda just keeps going with it. I mean, I played it. I liked it, but it was okay the first time. I don't want to do it another time because I already know all the quests. I already defeated every dragon, every troll, everything I had to defeat. And I don't know. At this point, I want to play another game. And they say Skyrim VR edition. Fuck off. I don't want that. I want Fallout New Vegas
I
2.
mean, yeah, please. But
Please.
coming back to the
The,
midterm,
the,
there's another important thing to be noted: the turnout of the voter turnout in midterm elections. That
oh,
it
okay, okay.
is like
Let's go back to that.
20 in between 20 and 25 percentual points lower than presidential elections. Taking into example, the last midterm was in 2014. There was a turnout of 36.7% of voters. In 2010, 41%. 20, 2006, 40%. 39 in 2002, and in 1998, 38%. So, and we are talking of, for presidential elections, of turnouts around over 55 to 60%. So what does this tell us? That people doesn't really care much about these kind of elections, but apparently, and strictly you know the Democrats are counting on some weird blue wave to sweep the elections and win them over every available post. The,
That
Repu-
is
the
not going to
Republicans,
come. The blue wave was a dream.
yeah, and even Bernie
Um,
Sanders is not really sure it will happen. And
no, I mean, look, if Bernie says he's not right, he doesn't know about it. I'm back. I believe him.
and of course, some Republicans say that no, it will be a red wave.
Oh
But
no, no.
I don't think either. I mean, there will be a major turnout. Like
Mhm.
maybe, and I think I'm exaggerating. I think it will be in between 45 and 50%, which is a lot for a midterm election. So,
Yeah, but it will still be a large turnout. And in general, I think that this election will have a big turnout. Many people are going to vote. Now, if I do believe who will come on top of who, I don't know how, but I really doubt that any party that wins is going to do it by a huge margin. And if he does, that could pretty much For example, if the Republicans win, I think for a huge margin, that would pretty much seal off any chance the Democrat Party has to regain power for the next 4 years, depending, of course, if Donald Trump re-election campaign fares well. Now, in the case if the Democrats gain more power, their turnout is favorable to them, I think that the Democrats may have a shot at gaining back the presidency. Now, the problem I have is that for one side, you got the conservatives talking about the red wave and stuff like that. I think that this all came with the Kavanaugh thing, but I think that the Kavanaugh trial had little to do, and even funny, I've been seeing that there was a woman who was one of the ones who accused him of rape. She said that the case was lied. She said that she didn't even knew Kavanaugh. I'm just sitting there thinking, hang on a second, what about Miss Ford?
Yeah, it's that last revelation of the Kavanaugh saga was really, I think you could say it was a bump for them. I mean, one of the accusers actually admitting that she invented everything just for the attention, and that she has never met Kavanaugh in real life. I mean, and it's no wonder why she was referred for a criminal investigation of obstruction of the Congress.
Well, it's also perjury, which is quite illegal, because she signed a sworn affidavit, didn't she?
Yeah, I think she did.
Ooh, that's jail.
And of course, another person that has been referred for criminal investigation in Kavanaugh's case, where this guy, creepy porn lawyer, and his customer, his client, and well, and apparently there has been surfacing a lot of scandals surrounding Michael Avenatti. Like if he was expecting to run for the presidency for the Democratic Party, I think it's he's already lost.
Yeah,
because they're well.
I will vote for Al Sharpton though. I seriously vote for Al Sharpton, not because I like him, but because I would like to see the meme fest that will be there. Honestly.
Oh my god.
Oh, Al Sharpton will never win. Will never run. I mean, the guy I think is under investigation for tax fraud. So, he doesn't pay his taxes. Go figure. You know, a Democrat not paying their taxes.
And
that's weird.
Speaking of future, probable future candidates for the Democratic Party, I think there are another probable, presidential candidates running in these elections. One of them, well, our beloved Pocahontas.
Oh no!
Elizabeth Warren is completely discredited now. I don't think she stands a chance.
She shot herself in the foot with, "Hey, I'm a 1 in 1,024 not Native American."
I'm like she's like 1 in 24 Latino.
Yeah.
But it was so funny that the results came in, and I was like thinking, okay. I'm not an expert, but when I see Elizabeth Warren, all I see is a white lady. And with the DNA results, it's true. I see a white lady. And it's even a self-own that she is less Native American than the average American. How is that possible?
It's
she's actually whiter than most Americans, which is terrifying. So I guess she took, as they would say, as me being the indigenous person in the stream, she took an arrow to the knee. I mean, that's a Skyrim reference, but still.
And of course, the other probable candidate in this election it's somebody that we already talked about, Beto O'Rourke, which I think I don't see him being a serious candidate for the presidency in 2020. Because how he's launching his presidential bid for the Democrats in a likely election, in an election that he will likely lose.
There's
It's
also
not.
Cory Booker.
Well,
But Cory's not running, I don't think, in the midterms.
No, he's not. Spartacus.
But actually, he got accused of sexual harassment.
Oh yeah,
Oh no!
they are falling like flies.
Actually, there is one who's looking like it's going to flip. I was watching a few political streams on this. Any of you guys heard of Senator Bob Menendez?
Yeah.
No.
Menendez is a New Jersey Democrat, and he has some really sketchy things going on, like a corruption investigation, and there are some unverified accusations that he travels to Dominican to get underage prostitutes.
Oh my god.
That one hasn't been proven yet, and I don't think they can prove it. There's some kind of cloudy stuff around that, so I can't say that's true or not, but that is one of the accusations floating out there. A friend of mine from New Jersey says that he thinks Bob Menendez is absolute scum and will not vote for him. But then again, this guy is so Republican, like I can see an eagle poking out of his butt.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just say that? So in the Wikipedia page about the United States presidential election of 2020, I decided to see the candidates. So nominations of the Republican Party, of course, Donald Trump, and there are three other characters who have declared their interest of running for presidency. Jack Fallour, who he says here he was a prohibition nominee for president 2012. He's from West Virginia. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Rocky de la Fuente. Yes, that's his name. From California. Businessman and political activist.
God.
And the third one, and the pick is just fucking awesome. Jonathan Sharkey from Florida, a professional wrestler. He was a candidate for president on the 2004, 2008, and 2012. And look, I need to share the screen with you guys. Look.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me see.
No. No, that's not him. No.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
No, that's too cringy.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the Democrats. So the major one I've never heard about is John Delaney.
The flag of Maryland is actually quite cool.
Delaney?
No, the flag of Maryland.
Yeah, no, it's a badass flag. I like it. And it's represented from Maryland since 2013. And the other declared candidates, Ken Nwadike.
What? Free hugs. Nice.
Whatever.
Peace activist, inspirational speaker, video journalist.
So he's unemployed.
Yes. From California, of all places. Robbie Wells, former college football coach, natural law nominee for U.S. President from California.
Coming soon for football coach. Certain allegations.
Possibly. And Andrew Yang.
Entrepreneur.
Andrew Yang.
Chinese spy.
Yeah. I feel like I saw this guy in the Young Turks. And individuals have publicly expressed interest Avenatti,
Where?
Joe Biden, creepy Uncle Biden.
Have you guys ever seen the videos of Uncle Joe of Joe Biden like going up to
seen
women
them.
and that, and he's like touching them and rubbing them and all kinds of weird stuff.
I've seen them.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the Republicans have real ammunition against Joe Biden, and they are keeping it in case he's the one running,
Molesty Uncle Joe,
like
creepy Uncle Biden. Cory Booker, Julian Castro, Hillary Clinton.
I could see Julian Castro. I hate to say it, Julian Castro would probably have a good chance, at least in the South. Well, oh my God, he looks so fake though. Like he looks like a reptile. He's the ultimate NPC. He's a manufactured. He's like a manufactured Mexicano.
Orange Mamba.
Yeah.
Yes. See, we almost
Oscar de la Hoya, boxing champion from California.
No, not you, Oscar. No, not Oscar de la Hoya.
This is going to be a fucking freak show, man.
Can you imagine if he was a presidential candidate though? I'm going to knock out corruption.
Oh shit. Kamala Harris.
Wait a minute, Gabby Giffords? Oh, Tulsa Gabbard. I don't know Tulsa Gabbard.
Yeah, I think she's actually like a reasonable person in the Democratic Party. I mean, even sites like from almost from all across the spectrum treat her like a reasonable person, a person you can speak with about these topics, and she doesn't jump to conclusions and to make judgments like Elizabeth Warren or Cory Booker or Kamala Harris.
Too, Tammy Duckworth, and she's she's a bit how should I say this, fiery. But then again, she's also a veteran and double amputee, so you've kind of got to give her a little bit of room.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me see. I'm seeing Hickenlooper. Not now. One, that would be an interesting presidential name. You know, like, can you imagine like going to like certain countries and trying to pronounce that name without trying to insult him?
Which one?
Like you go like John Hickenlooper. He's the usually governor of Colorado. You know, you go down to like, I don't know, Ecuador. It's like, we welcome you, President Hickenlooper. Next thing you know, Quito was nuked. That's what I do. I just feel like you get my name, like, because one thing I hate personally is when people mess up my name, and the job that I work at, everyone for some reason calls me Vernon. So yeah, I don't know how you get more like Vernon out of Vernon. I've also been called Bernard. I actually like the name Bernard, but it's not my name. I don't know how you get how you get Bernard out of Ernest is beyond me. But I've also been called Steve. Steve. I don't know. Now that one I really don't understand. But although, yeah, it's just annoying. But so I mean, if it was me and you got my name wrong, that's like an automatic declaration of war. Because we're doing this Saudi style, like you've insulted my honor, so now you must pay.
Mm-hmm.
Just without bombing Yemen.
Hey,
which is actually a pretty. By the way, guys,
Gabby's back. Gabby's back on the internet.
I've never actually used Gab, and I just wanted. By the way, I just want to say, fuck Saudi Arabia for what they're doing to Yemen, and just fuck Saudi Arabia in general. It's a shithole. And I hate them, and I really wish they had some sort of democratization or at least a constitutional monarchy. So there we go. I just wanted to say that I really don't like Saudi Arabia. It's
no one here likes it, and it's funny that when I see leftists complaining about, oh no, you hate Muslims and stuff, and then I see them criticize Saudi Arabia, the reason is, oh no, because their ideology is super right wing. What?
Yeah, but the funny thing is too is that Canada is like trying to insult them and like tell them like they're human rights violators for what they're doing in Yemen, yet we sold them weapons, and we're still giving them weapons. We're like, you're all very, very bad. Here's your armored vehicle. Have a nice day, you murderous psychopath. We sold them like $10 billion worth of lab 4s, and everyone's like, why is Justin Trudeau doing business with these horrible, horrible people? You know, the ones who murder journalists and blow up children in Yemen. And Justin Trudeau comes out, he's like, well, sunny ways, first of all. Here's a hug. We can't do anything because the contract is really, really, really tight. And we can't violate that because that would look bad on Canada.
Oh yeah.
So is selling like armored vehicles to a psychopathic monarchy. Nice job there, Bucky. But
that Saudi Arabia and Iran have like their own Cold War.
Yeah,
there is this new period that I've been listening, the Arab Winter, the return to Islamic fundamentalism and authoritarianism, which, I mean, in my opinion, has already been there. I mean, in general,
it never went away. Islamic fundamentalism has been pretty much part and parcel with the Middle East for what? 1600 years?
Yeah, and I think that the theme here is, look, most Abrahamic religions, and I say this in general, can lead to authoritarianism, but there's only one Abrahamic religion who still has power over certain nations, and that is Islam. Now, I hate when they conflate Islam with race, because there are white people who are Muslims. They are Asian people, they're black people, they're brown people, they're people from all colors, different sizes that are Muslim. So I don't really believe that criticizing is something racist. Now, you could mix it with racist if you talk specifically about Arabs. But personally, when I talk about Islam, I refer to the entire Muslim world, which goes not only in the Middle East, but including Indonesia. So yes, fuck Saudi Arabia, fuck what you're doing in Yemen. And look, this is not the fault of the West, as many people are saying. No. These countries have been at war for decades. The West, what they do? They give guns. Plain and simple.
We just sell them weaponry. That's it. It's business. It's nothing personal. Although honestly, I really don't mind if we break a deal in bad faith of good faith with Saudi Arabia. I honestly don't care. I would much rather give guns to someone else who would not treat us like crap. Because I'm not sure if you guys remember when Justin Trudeau tried to be like Captain Virtuous, and he pissed off the Saudis, and they pulled out like $20 billion of investment out of Canada.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then threatened to like ram a plane into the CN Tower through Twitter.
Yes,
I really don't care if the Saudis are upset that we broke a deal with them. I'd rather not do business with them at all. I'd like to just say like, go to hell. And I really rarely swear on this stream, as you guys know. But really, I got to be honest. Fuck Saudi Arabia and fuck Prince Mohammed. Like, fuck you right straight to hell. And also fuck Maduro, just because I want to piss off some dictators this week.
And what they did with this journalist in the
the journalist, yes.
That was messed up. And they really tried to cover that up. They had a guy who looked like Khashoggi and everything. It was like some Mission Impossible style, like assassination. Apparently they dumped him down a well.
And And they later said it was a fist fight when wrong. I mean, yeah, 25 guys against one. Yeah, what could
Against like a fat older Saudi Arabian guy, yeah, that's not.
what could have gone wrong there?
It was a political. It was an assassination. That's all it was. It was an assassination of a political dissident, and that's the way it is. The Saudi Arabian regime has probably contributed more to global terrorism than any other organization. And
there's a lot of evidence about that.
Oh no, they're the greatest exporter of terrorism because you see their mosques are always the hot spots. They actually sponsor a lot. Here in Canada, the Saudis build a lot of mosques, and Kuwait and some of the UAE, I think Dubai and Bahrain. They are the biggest donors for mosques, and I actually think that these states shouldn't be giving money for these religious buildings because it literally encourages like extremist thinking. And the Saudis have the worst brand of it, the Wahhabi Salafist ideology, which should be stomped off the face of the earth, if you ask me. I'd much rather, in terms of Islam, if I had to choose any of them, I'd probably choose either Sufism or Shiites. I mean, the Shiites can be a bit difficult, but they're not. At least
they're more bearable.
Well, Iran is a bit of a bad example of Shiites.
I mean,
because
if I could, I will
psychopaths.
Yeah, if I could, I will put my money on the Kurds, basically. And shout out to the women who are actually fighting in the front lines against the ISIS militants. There's I've heard Kurdish women who have joined the ranks, and many of them fight as snipers.
Yeah, I've seen that, and they have. But the thing is, they've even established this like socialist state in Syria. It begins with an.
If it works, we're fucked.
Well, I would like to recommend a book. Talking about extreme Islam and terrorism. Mm-hmm. From a rather notorious person, and of course, a person that has been slandered as a neo-Nazi and everything. People to the right of Pol Pot has been slandered in these recent times.
Many.
It's a book called Defeating Jihad by Sebastian Gorka.
That's not no.
Sebastian Gorka.
Oh, yeah, he is a bit controversial, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I remember.
The book is actually good. I really recommend it. And it's not that very long, because the premise of the book is like to defeat Islamic terrorism and Islamic extremism, not that terrorism. Terrorism could be like a symptom of the extremism. To defeat Islamic extremism, it could be advisable to return to how the way communism was defeated from the Soviet Union, how the Cold War ended favorably to Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And well, that's basically the guideline that he sets in the book. I recommend it.
That actually does sound like a good book, and I'm probably going to end up getting it. My choice this week is a classic, just in honor of, Venezuela and Saudi Arabia and all those other fun, authoritarian states. On Liberty by John Stuart Mills.
On Liberty.
Yeah. It's essentially what people started is mostly a libertarian book done in 1859. And everyone does know that Saudi Arabia could definitely use a bit of that liberty. I mean, for God's sakes, they just started letting women drive. I mean,
Just now.
Yeah, and I mean, pretty soon, you know, I knew one Saudi I know, and I was talking to him about it, and he's like, my parents are concerned. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, they're concerned that sooner or later the women will want to vote.
Oh no!
I was like, can't they? But then again, it turned out that I think he was joking because I think they can only vote. They can already vote in municipal elections, but that's as far as you can vote in Saudi Arabia anyway. But no, it's a terrible place. God forbid I'd ever go there.
Oh please no!
That's actually one place I wouldn't mind getting banned from. I've already got Venezuela on the list. Next stop is Saudi Arabia or Ortega's country. By the way, is anyone, speaking of like getting banned from places, anyone heard of what's going on with Rafael Correa lately? I think he's still in Belgium.
I think he's still at large.
And since Llama's in the chat, I think this is going to be good. That she put out a tweet earlier about my favorite Peruana, Keiko Fujimori.
Nuestra querida Keiko.
And yeah, it's funny because the reason that Keiko Fujimori got brought down is because a student was doing a thesis on political donations and noticed that there was some kind of discretion with the funds. And that's how it went. That's actually like Keiko Fujimori literally got broken down by somebody doing a thesis. So I mean, this person has pretty much destroyed Fuerza Popular just for trying to do a thesis. So they're like a hero.
Bravo.
Also, a Utah mayor has been killed in Afghanistan.
Wait, what?
When?
The mayor of North Ogden in Utah was killed in Kabul on Saturday in apparent insider attack. Taylor, a 39-year-old member of the National Guard, or of the Utah Army National Guard, was serving his 4th tour in Afghanistan. Oh, man.
My God.
No, like that's actually really sad. I mean, it's sad when anyone gets killed there.
Another recommendation about Afghanistan, and well, it's a movie, like a documentary. It's called Restrepo. Really recommendable. It's about the daily life of the soldiers that went there and faced one of the worst combat zones in the world for a tour. Well, and I hope may he rest in peace.
Definitely.
Of course.
Well.
But by the way, back to Quequito, or Quequita.
Yes.
According to, shout out to some little llama, our Cafecita, and patron saint of the podcast. We all love llama.
Pachalama.
The guy and his friend's investigation ended up in the National Prosecutor's Office. They asked a warrant to enter the party HQ. The group didn't expect that. It was hilarious. A congresswoman saw the prosecutor and yelled at him, "You have no idea who you're dealing with." What a stupid thing to do. Let's just scream at the government and hopefully it'll work. I mean, that's just cringy. But then again, it is Peruvian politics, so I'm not surprised that this would happen. For God's sakes, they've already declared, they've already said that her activity is something similar to the leader of a large criminal organization that has deeply penetrated the state. I know that's not enough evidence to send her to prison yet, and I know Eduardo and me were talking about this in our Discord. By the way, everyone should go on our Discord. It's fun.
The link is right below.
It is. We have cookies, and little cutouts of the Huascar on sale for 50 souls each. Just kidding. But no. Eduardo, you said that this kind of process is pretty common in like South American judicial activities.
Yeah, what they are, how to say, what they got so far was to put Keiko on trial. I mean, the judge, what the judge said was that there's enough material to bring her case to court, to a trial. It's not that big right now. I mean, it can lead to a condemnation against, for the charges that she's been put on trial, but it she can also being found not guilty and walk away. It's complicated.
I think this is something that we should dedicate a stream to because this is I know I have a certain bias towards Peru because I love it, but I think this case is really fascinating because I mean it is literally the end of a dynasty. I mean it could be. I mean the Fujimoris are essentially royalty of South America in a notorious sense. You know, um, and the downfall of Keiko is, she's the last politically active Fujimori since Kenji screwed up and tried to bribe people to help Pedro Kaczynski. God, that was a bad time. All this event, like you guys had to have seen the oh, there have been WhatsApp leaks recently to prove that Keiko was in charge of every single detail. Ooh, I have to look into this. I have to start reading El Comercio more. And they insult the prosecutor. Whoa.
She is still the prosecutor.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, she's done. I hope she gets a shiv. She's gonna need a shiv. Well, then again, she got sentenced to Lama. Since you're listening, how many years did she get sent to preventative prison right now already? I think she's in there for like a couple of years at the minimum.
Yeah.
Because they give you like what was it, like prison preventiva? I think it is. I'm trying to remember it now.
Yeah. It's provision prisión preventiva. It's
Yeah.
I don't remember how much. Well, I don't know the legal system in Peru, but Lama says the Congress people who were part of the what's 3. She says 3. 36 months. Sorry.
Ooh, that's 3 years.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what that means though. Does that mean like she's in prison right now for a minimum of 3 years?
Then she faces up to 10 years. Oh, what? That's quite many for the for
that's rather extreme for a South American politician. I mean, I know her father's in prison for the rest of his life, but
for example, Lula got 12 years, and I mean, I think that that kind of crimes should be being punished harshly than they are being punished now.
Well, I think I consider things like bribery to be on the lines of treason, especially when it's done by any political figure, like a congressman or senators or things like that. I think if you take a bribe, you are committing treason against your country, because you are working in the opposite of the country's best interest in exchange for financial restitution.
Oh, totally, because you're being entrusted with the well-being of the administration of a country. You are doing exactly the opposite. So
So, but I mean, like, they'll never do that because what politician, especially in places that are as I hate to say it, as corrupt as South American politics, no one is going to pass a law unless you're Bolsonaro that corruption is treason. I mean, I would love it to be. I wish it was here. My God, half my politicians would be in prison right now. And that's only the provincial ones.
What another thing I would like to ask if anybody around here knows. Does any? I mean, does anyone who knows anything about the breakdown, or the demographical breakdown of the Brazilian election? I just want to, like, prove a point, or maybe or question the dogma of of who were the base for the last for the two candidates, like many people were saying. I mean, it will be interesting. I've been looking for, and I think it's a topic that would be, I think, pertinent to bring in this podcast at a later date. If anybody has any leads about it, please tell us.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting to see, who gave Bolsonaro victory. But I mean, like, recently I've been looking at some of his choices for his cabinet. They're really, really good. Like, they're really good. He chose Sergio Moro for the justice minister, and that guy is fantastic.
He's the one from, is he the judge or the prosecutor from the car wash case?
I think he is. I think he's related to it. He's made a name as an anti-corruption judge. And
expect I think it would be good, to tell. Well, I think it will be also pertinent to make a stream about the car wash case.
Oh, well, I mean, it affects every one of us here. Well,
yeah,
not me, but it affects Chile, it affects Mexico, it affects literally, like, the arm of Odebrecht is everywhere.
Yeah.
What up?
Hey. So we were talking about maybe doing a stream about the car wash case in Brazil soon.
Yeah, considering that also Bolsonaro theme is still fresh, we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Speaking about really Bolsonaro, for him. Yet to find the statistics of how many people of certain ethnicities voted for him.
Yeah.
But I've heard through unreliable sources that there was a chunk of Afro-descendant Brazilians that voted for him. And I even heard that there was a lot of gay people who voted for him too, yet I don't have the numbers.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how many people, actually say, okay, maybe he hates what I am, but he's promising to, combat crime and combat corruption. Let's give it a chance.
Apparently now, a couple of the newly elected governors in Brazil, especially one in Rio, is pretty much promising to give the order that anyone outside of the military or the police that carries a rifle is to be shot on sight.
Wow.
And I'm actually, you know what? Morality aside, I'm fine with that because, you see, we cannot apply. I can't, as a Canadian, apply Canadian, policing standards to Brazil. It's a completely different atmosphere, same as it would be in the barrios of Mexico and the barrios of Lima. I can't say Chile because everything is orderly and friendly there.
No, in Chile it's entirely different. I mean, look, many times the media gives this image that Chile is ridden with violence. In fact, we're not. I mean, there's still a lot of crime, but we have a problem more with corruption rather than just crime. It's funny. I want to just mention this. I haven't mentioned it before in any other podcast, but there have been a protest going on, and now I think they're arrived to a consensus because there's this town on the coast called Quintero. Quintero is one of the so-called áreas de sacrificio, sacrifice zones. These are areas in which basically every industry imaginable is there. Now, of course, environmentalists and groups of mostly many of them vegans basically went down to protest because of the horrible conditions and the pollution, and presumably people were getting sick. Many kids in the nearby schools had to just suspend classes because of the pollution. Now, the funny thing about all of this is the fact that most people who went to protest, who went down to Quintero to protest, aren't even from Quintero. They're from the nearby towns. And I saw some pictures. There was a group of protesters clad in black, throwing rocks and molotovs at the police, and soldiers from the Armada, the Navy, actually had to held off with rubber bullets some of the protesters. And it was just so weird to see those images, because you would think, I mean, this will happen in Venezuela, but no, this was in Chile. And it also escalated with the death of a director from a syndicate of fishermen. I forgot the name, the bastard's name. But what happened was that he was found dead. Was found dead on the railways in Valparaiso. The weird thing is that no one knows how he got there. No one knows how he died. Now, of course, the first thing that people say, oh no, this guy was murdered by government sicarios and shit like that. And the thing is that the autopsy said that the most probable cause of death was suicide. Now, the problem is that no one knows why he will commit suicide. Of course, I asked my dad, because my dad was working in Codelco, the corporation that oversees copper mining. They say they have a problem with many private companies who work for Codelco. They were demanding better pay. They were demanding to have the same benefits as Codelco employees. And the leader of the syndicate of these guys, he was a guy who moved a lot of people. I mean, his whole word, he could have basically shut down the entire mining operation in Los Andes and even in the other part of Chile. My dad said, if it was so easy to take down a syndicalist leader, Codelco would have done that with that guy. I mean, he wasn't even admitting that they will have sent a sicario or someone to pop a cap in his ass. But the thing is, I really don't.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. Tell me.
I don't even think Chile has sicarios anymore, like government-owned sicarios. I think they kind of gave that up after the Pinochet years.
Yeah, you see, the problem is, if it was so easy, it will happen. It will happen more often. I mean, look, this guy, the fisherman, he was often threatened. People say that he received death threats. Now, for him to appear dead on railways in Valparaiso, no one knows how he got there. Now, my best guess is that he was walking down the street. He probably had a few drinks, because there's a lot of bars and pubs in Valparaiso, of course, because it's a port city. In fact, fun fact, by law, liquor dispenser stores have to be the number has to be per 5,000 people. And Valparaiso has, don't have the number yet, but Valparaiso has the highest amount of liquor stores and bars and alcohol expenditures in the entire country.
Sounds like St. John's.
Sounds like a nice place.
Sounds like Tijuana.
Well, it is, if you mind that you can get killed if you go to grab a drink.
I think here in Aguascalientes can outdrink Tijuana.
Yeah, but St. John's can outdrink Aguas Calientes because
Dude.
there's no, gentlemen. I'm gonna say this, and I have to do my quick Newfoundland tourism ad because I'm obligated because I love this place in Peru and St. John's. But anyway, St. John's has this one street called George Street, and it's literally nothing but bars. I think it has the highest concentration of bars per capita in North America. It is glorious, gentlemen. I have drank there. And the funniest thing I ever saw there was a, how do I say this? A size-challenged person, a little person.
Size-challenged person.
Trying to run from the cops while throwing a beer bottle. It was actually the most interesting thing ever, and the police were following him on horseback while he was like,
God bless America.
We're not Americans, and never say that again. Standards. But like, yeah, George Street is fantastic. It is literally just a giant street of bars, and now it's even groovier since the weed's been legal. Which, by the way, the marijuana continuously sold out for like 2-3 weeks straight. Like within the first like day of its sales, they finally somehow managed to fix the supply. But it's touch and go at the moment, apparently, according to sources that I've heard. They've actually run out of marijuana in the capital city. Go figure. There's a lot of really giggly politicians tonight. But yeah, that's actually another scandal for another time. But
for another thing that it's going to happen, tomorrow, one day before the election, is that the trial against El Chapo Guzman will begin in New York. And apparently in New York is being, getting a really big security operation around it. And I can imagine why.
Well, he did go-kart out of one of your most secure prisons. I really wouldn't take any chances with this guy. He's pretty crafty.
Yeah, exactly. No chances. So you need to put him in an island in the middle of the sea.
Apparently, from this trial, it's bound to it's bound to reveal a lot of delicate information about people, rich people, and powerful people in Mexico. So this is it's going to be a bloodbath.
Please be AMLO. Please be AMLO. Please be AMLO.
I hope so. I'm begging for him to actually get out of to reveal something about AMLO.
But can they impeach him if he's tied to El Chapo Guzman?
It will be like their major problem will be AMLO's major problem in case of that kind of revelation could be like a really big blow for his credibility.
But if he screws up, who's going to be the vice president take over?
There's no vice president here.
Oh,
what?
No vice presidents?
Yeah, so there are two procedures about getting to replace the president here.
The president of the Senate?
No.
Ah, crap.
I think it's a really complicated, two complicated procedures here containing the Constitution. So, one is implemented in the first 2 years of president's tenure. The other will be implemented in the lasting 4 years. So. It's complicated. As I told you, it's complicated and long explanation. But as I told you, it can be really bad for them.
Well, let's hope that El Chapo spills a few beans.
Of course.
Please. It will give us more material to work with in the podcast.
But guys, here I found an article from the Americas Quarterly about why Sergio Moro took the job as Justice Minister.
Well, yes, because he put Lula in jail.
Well, yeah, he's the one who was overseeing Odebrecht, I think, or the car wash. But the reason he's doing this is apparently due to the 90s investigation in Italy, Manipulite, the Clean Hands operation.
Yeah.
That was a really bloody time. I actually remember reading about that when I was younger. That was like there was murders, assassinations, car bombs. They killed a lot of prosecutors. And I think actually we're going to see something like that happening here, because when Bolsonaro gets in, he's not just going to clean up Odebrecht. He's going to clean out the favelas. And
he's going in. He's going in.
No, those guys are going to fight back. Like, I mean, it's going to be an Escobar scenario. It's going to be plata or plomo. And Bolsonaro was going in like
it's going to be tropa de élite all day long.
Bolsonaro's probably going to leave it all himself in his armored, like he's probably going to come in a Gundam or something.
in a Velociraptor.
No, he's going to have a suit of power armor. It's going to be Fallout 5, Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. But guys, I think we've kind of covered everything for tonight. I think maybe if we got time, we can do after the midterms, sometime during that week, we can do a really, really short, quick like update stream on how everything went. And I mean, even if it's just for like 45 minutes, half hour, just to kind of quickly go over everything and give our thoughts on it. Just to kind of divide things up. Everyone, please remember, next week on the 11th, we're going to be having our Great War stream. And I will be, of course, discussing the Great Newfoundland Sacrifice, because we did fight in that war as a country.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Well, we will also talk about the involvement or non-involvement of most Latin American countries in the war. I mean, the only one that participated actively was Brazil. And
Mexico was about to participate in the war, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Chilangos in the trenches of Flanders, 1916. Chale, Holmes, we need to cross the trenches to fight the Hermanos.
And well, if Porfirio Diaz will still, be president in Mexico by that time, maybe he would have, jump in the side of Germany.
Probably.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of his quotes, most famous quotes, is Mexico, so far from God and so close to the United States.
That'll do it.
The good thing about those quotes is that they're timeless even today. I mean, no offense, but when I went to Mexico, one of the things that really stuck out to me is that I felt that I was in the United States was owned by Latinos. And that is going to happen. That is going to happen in a few years.
Porfirio Diaz would just be there, just like he's looking down from heaven, and he's just like, "Yeah,
I told you,
yeah, you can't keep a good Mexican down." Now off to the heavenly lucha libre.
And well, of course, we'll be talking about the Mondragon rifle that make a cameo appearance in the war. And maybe what about
my favorite weapon from Battlefield 1?
Oh, well, yeah, most famous for being one of the predilect weapons of medics in Battlefield 1. And of course, we'll be talking about some shots fired close to uh, Pablo's home in the Battle of Coronel,
Mhm.
in which involved some of the the people that is not really the some of the most forgotten war fronts in that regard.
Beaumont
The
Hamel too.
Mhm.
We'll
the
have
Pacific.
Beaumont Hamel was a big one for at least for Newfoundland, and because of it, we have a national holiday because of it.
Yes.
Yeah. July 1st, Canada Day, is also Newfoundland's national holiday. Well, pre-Canada national holiday. Um, it's Memorial Day for us, and because if you look it up, and I'm just gonna kind of give a small spoiler. And what it was that the Newfoundland was not very big population wise. It had like 300,000 people over this whole island and Labrador. So all we could send was essentially a regiment. So we sent like 800 people, which is pretty much a battalion.
Yeah.
And we went to Gallipoli. We were one of the last groups to leave Gallipoli when they retreated.
Johnny Torque.
Yeah, damn you, editor. You crafty mustache son of a bitch. But also we fought in Beaumont Hamel, which was part of the Somme. And when they ordered us over the top, we all got wiped out. And I think one of the British officers said that was a splendid display of bravery. It's only a shame that dead men can advance no further. We made it as far as one tree, and we got cut to shreds.
I mean, the River Somme battle was one of the greatest stupidities of the war.
Oh, Douglas Haig was a god awful commander.
Yeah,
he failed. Like, they had maneuvers in 1912, and he lost. Like, even though he had an overwhelmingly larger force, he lost.
Wow.
And yet they still made him the overall commander of the Somme. But I'm just gonna see here how many Newfoundland lost, because we lost a lot of troops in that battle. Let me see.
The one of the worst things about the Somme and Sir Douglas Haig was that no, I think I'll save that fact for next week's.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Okay, guys, here it is. I'm just gonna say it because I'll be bringing it up in the next episode too. But of the 780 men who went forward, only 110 survived unscathed, and only 68 were available for roll call the next day. They essentially wiped out our military in one battle. And okay, here's the quote from Sir Beauvoir de Lys, British general. Why he had a French name, God knows. It was a magnificent display of trained and disciplined valor, and its assault only failed of success because dead men can advance no further. So we made it to the danger tree, and that was it. And I know this isn't completely kind, but I really don't like the phrase danger tree. It sounds like kind of a really naughty, a really un arbor travesa.
The danger tree.
Yeah, the kids, you watch out for that danger tree, and it's just like, I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I'm gonna get you with my leaves.
The danger tree.
But that's actually pretty horrible because a lot of people died to get to that tree. But no, but like they memorialized that tree so much. There's actually a memorial in the city of Quarterbrook that has a replica of this beaten up tree, because that's all it was. It was just a destroyed tree. And we lost 780 people. We lost like 600 people to get to a tree. It was a pointless battle. And here's a fun fact: our National War Memorial was inaugurated by Douglas Haig, the guy who literally sent our soldiers to their deaths, who wiped out the flower of Newfoundland's young men, like that generation, wiped out our entire generation, gets to inaugurate the statue, and it's still there in St. John's. I used to go to visit that when I used to go to the city. I used to spend my time there. It's a really beautiful war memorial. I'll send you guys a picture off air, but it's a really beautiful memorial. But Douglas Haig is probably the worst person to inaugurate it. It's kind of like, hey, Newfies, I kind of killed all your young men. Here's your statue. Have a nice day. I'm going back to England to be rich.
Lions being led by a donkey.
They actually had a play about this. Somebody in Newfoundland wrote a play about Douglas Haig coming to inaugurate that statue. And that was at the end. I remember that because at the end of the play, the guy who played Douglas Haig, he said, nothing but lions led by donkeys. And Haig gets up, he goes, ridiculous. I am not a donkey. I am a horse. It was actually a really good play, and one of the few plays I've actually cried watching because it was actually good. No, it was actually a really good play because it's the effects of Beaumont Hamel are still felt today because after the war we had to pay the British back money because we needed loans to finance our actions. And the British really didn't care that we had sacrificed our entire military. They still made us pay. And it actually is partially what led to the downfall of the independent state of Newfoundland. So, yeah. But I think we've kind of covered everything. I want to leave a little bit of mystery left to our beloved viewers. So I guess before we go, is there anything you guys want to say?
Yes. Please, so you follow us on Twitter to have continue the conversation, and also the link for our Discord server is right below in the description. Join us there too.
Just gonna say thank you for coming. Thank you for watching us. I feel that sometimes we kind of get off topic, but I mean we do this for fun. We're not trying to be something like large or something. No, we're just doing this. We're three guys who like to talk about these subjects and do it for fun. And I hope that you have fun listening to us.
Yeah, I mean, and already we have 15 subscribers, which is, it's kind of cool. I know it's not a lot. It's not a lot, but I mean, it is interesting to see that we have 15 people who will take the time to watch our program.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, it's people like that and Llama. That actually make this fun. Like, I mean, we don't do this for the money. We don't do this because we want to be like a Sargon, or I'm not going to say a V because I don't want to be somebody's like sidekick.
Romani or something.
some yeah, Newfies have a bad enough rep right now. I don't need to be compared to Romanians. I'm just kidding. I actually know some great Romanians. They're good people, and yeah,
people.
One of them painted my house. So
oh really?
No, yeah. It was up in Alberta. He was actually pretty cool. He painted my apartment and did it for like half price. So he's awesome, and But yeah, so I mean, anything I say, as you guys know, I'm just messing around, just shit posting. But
I mean, we know that secretly you're a fucking Nazi.
Yes, because every Nazi wants to move to South America and live in Peru, which is literally probably the one of like if I was a white nationalist, that'd probably be like a nightmare scenario. Either that or like Brazil.
Do you find it funny that most white supremacists want to marry Asian women?
That is actually,
I mean, in my case,
really
I like Asian women, but it's not because I'm a neo-Nazi. It's because I find them attractive.
Generally, most people find Asians attractive. They're just a very beautiful people.
Yes, they are. But the problem is, if I want to go to Japan, first I have to learn the language, and the second thing is that I've heard that
marry a Bolivian. Not even Bolivians.
I mean, I will marry a Bolivian girl just to show her the sea.
And then
honestly, we'll do that.
Then when you go to consummate, it turns out to be Evo Morales in a wig. He's just like, I tricked you. You did not realize they're my disguise. But you all look the same. So, oh God, it's like Quagmire. Oh God, oh God,
oh God. Chicks with dicks, not again. Yeah, it's
friggin' Evo. I hate him too. He's another idiot. But anyway, guys,
I hate Evo.
But yeah, so I guess from all of us here at the Qué Pasó podcast, good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.